Hi guys, and welcome to the first episode of CATV Live right here on Cash Alternative TV. It's the first time I'm doing this, so I'm a little bit nervous. I hope you bear with me. And this is going to be, it's going to replace Christopher's Crypto Chronicles, which, as you can see here, wasn't very well received. So I've got 21 votes, and 95% of people out there said that they did not like Christopher's Crypto Chronicles, and they wanted me to go with Cash Alternative TV Live. So that's what I'm doing. I'm starting Cash Alternative TV Live, and here we go. This is going to be the first episode. So a lot of people might ask, oh, how come you didn't release it yesterday? Usually Christopher's Crypto Chronicles comes out on Saturday. Well, yesterday I was dealing with some personal issues. I'm not going to bring it forward to you guys right now, but there were some personal issues in the Dash community I was dealing with. For me, I consider it water under the bridge. I'm not going to go into any more details about that. I've said my piece, and now we're going to move on as a community. And this is my first attempt to move on in my capacity. So I just want to say thank you guys for all your support. And I'm going to continue to do work for Dash, continue to make videos, and let's move on together. So this video is going to be talking about how we can... the first is going to talk about the week's events. First I'm going to go over the videos that I had from last week, and I'm going to go over the videos that are coming up for next week so you guys know what to watch for and what to search for from the past week. I'm going to go over some crypto news, and I'm going to go over some Dash news at the end. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the video lineup. So last week I had the first video that I released last week was Bitcoin Gold suffers a 51% attack. They actually had two separate attacks with $70,000 of cryptocurrency being stolen in these attacks. And I go over the info about what happened in these attacks, and I also say why Dash is not really subject to these attacks due to its chain locks feature. So if you're interested in 51% attacks and how Dash can prevent it, head over to my channel and check out that video. And the other video was a gentleman that's very well known in the Dash community. His name's Darren Tapp. He's very smart. He's on another level. Some of the things that he says just go way over my head, but he's a very entertaining and personable person. So if you're watching this, Darren, I had a blast with you. So we had the third episode of the Darren Tapp Files, and I was talking all about basically security in cryptocurrency and how can you remain safe in cryptocurrency and how Dash takes security in cryptocurrency to another level. So that's a very interesting episode. It was an hour and 40 minutes of recording time, but I was able to put it all into an hour's worth of full of information, and it's pretty fast paced and entertaining. So I definitely recommend you check that out as well. So thanks for coming on the show, Darren. We have one more to go, and we're going to be doing that soon. And the last one I just released on Friday, which is what's going on in Dash. It was a summary of the Dash quarterly conference call for Q4 2019. And that's chock full of information too about what Dash is doing. So I definitely recommend that if you're new to this channel, go check it out. And if you're just joining me now and you want to know what Cash Alternative TV is, it's basically a show about cryptocurrency with a focus on Dash that aims to be a digital cash for the world, an alternative to cash. And that's what I talk about. I talk about things that happen in Dash or things that happen in cryptocurrency and how it relates to Dash. So if you're into that, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss an episode coming up. And speaking of coming up, we have Cash Alternative TV videos coming out starting tomorrow. There's going to be a mobile wallet review. I'm going to review the iOS and Android mobile wallets. So please stick around to check that out. It's going to be coming out tomorrow on Monday. And I go through an in-depth tutorial, not really a tutorial, just an in-depth walkthrough, see the features of each wallet and how they've improved. They look really good, and I'm happy to share that with you. And the other one is an interview with an author. I don't know if you guys out there have read this book. It's called Blockchain for Everyone. His name is Sir John Hargrave, and he's the author of Blockchain for Everyone. And it goes through his story about how he went through the cryptocurrency, how he discovered cryptocurrency, and how his experiences. And it's pretty funny. He's got a lot of funny stories to tell, and he's actually got an interesting offer that he offers some cryptocurrency with the book. He says the book itself is $25, but he offers you $25 in the DAI cryptocurrency, which is a stable coin. So basically you don't have to pay anything for the book. You're getting $25, you're paying $25 and you're getting $25 back. So that's interesting. So pay attention to that. I have some bad news for my subscribers though. Apparently John McAfee is ill, and he's not going to be able to make this February 11th date that we had with him. So I'm being patient with Janice. We're back and forth with emails, and we're going to set something up for March. So be patient. Hopefully he comes on the show. I hope they're not just stringing me along, but I wanted to keep you guys updated on that. And this interview with John McAfee, if it's able to happen, if I can set it up, it's going to happen. So just letting you guys know that. So that's up for the videos that we have for next week. Now I'm going to go into the crypto news recap. And this is the part of the show where I'm going to talk about all kinds of things that happen in cryptocurrency. So let's get started. The first one is Bitcoin Cash. They had recently had a block that was 5.5 hours in between blocks. And that in itself isn't very interesting. I mean, there's always variance in block discovery. But it didn't take long for a Bitcoin maximalist to take advantage of the situation and tweet that BCH has so few transactions that after 5.5 hours of no block, it still only fills up 2.3 megabytes. So you got to feel a little bit for Bitcoin Cash, because they're kind of stuck in between Bitcoin, that they aspire to take over that mantle of being Bitcoin, the peer-to-peer electronic cash. But then you got Dash coming up right behind it that says, well, hey, not so fast, we're here too. You know, it's kind of like a chain in cryptocurrency. And then you got PivX behind Dash that's saying, hey, wait a minute, we took your technology and made it better. So, you know, I find this interesting, you know, all the things that happen in the crypto space. But that was BCH had the 5.5 hour block. And so now you're caught up to date with that if you didn't know. And apparently Bermuda, they have no access to PayPal, Square, or any other places like any other payment networks like that. So they're interested in going all in crypto. There's this by the Daily Hodl. There's this article here. They said currently people in Bermuda are unable to access mainstream payment apps such as PayPal, Revolut, and Square's Cash App. And the advisor tells CoinDesk he wants to develop a system that Bermuda's residents can use to transact in digital currency, effectively building an economic bridge leading to world-leading economies. So this is something that some people in Bermuda are trying to be forward-thinking and seeing that blockchain is the answer for these things. And that also ties into Dash, because Dash is attempting to build a decentralized payment network with its Dash Pay wallets. So this is something that Bermuda would probably be interested in looking into in the future once we get that up and running. Because not only is it going to be an awesome payment system, it's going to be completely decentralized. So no one's going to tell Bermuda, hey, you can't use this system, or we have the rights to this system and you can't use it in this country. So that's why Dash is coming up with some good stuff, and I'm appreciative of that. So back to this BCH Dash rivalry, there was an independent person that posted in both subreddits that he wanted to know why Dash is better than BCH and why BCH is better than Dash. So he took it upon himself to post in both subreddits the opposite question in each one. And this is what came up with in Dash. It says, this was by Critical Input, who is definitely a regular person on the Dash Pay subreddit, a regular contributor. He goes through all the reasons why Dash is better than Bitcoin, and you can see it there, Bitcoin Cash. So Dash has its governance sorted pretty well with a treasury system that utilizes newly minted Dash each month. And it says newly mined Dash is distributed to projects who get enough votes via the Dash DAO, which is true. It says Dash transactions are confirmed right away and are able to be respent right away, which is also true. Interest, which I'm not really sure if it's interest, it's more like a payment for doing services. But yeah, I mean, that most people will understand it as interest. Can be gained by hosting a masternode, 1,000 Dash required, or being part of a masternode's collateral. So it goes on, there's more. It says Chainlocks has protected Dash from 51% mining attacks, which is absolutely true. Dash is due for some major upgrades this year as Evolution software migrates from EvoNet testing to the actual Dash blockchain utility. And Dash has an optional privacy feature, coin mixing, which is important to note that is built right into the Dash core wallet. There are reasons why business, personal, governments, and charities want to use the privacy feature or not utilize it. Think about the advantages of both cases. And he adds at the end that both Dash and BCH don't have a CEO. So that's quite an interesting, comprehensive list of why Dash is better than Bitcoin Cash at the present time. So in response to this, he also posted this in the Bitcoin Cash subreddit. And this is the response that they came up with. This is Memory Dealers, who's Roger Ver. He's probably the biggest person involved with Bitcoin Cash. And he says, both are great. But I think BCH has a much better network effect and brand recognition. So that's what they have to say. That's it. BCH has a better brand recognition and network effect. So the question is Dash going to overcome this network effect with the myriad of technological improvements that it's made? Stay tuned. I don't know the answer to that, but it's going to be interesting to find out. So now we're on to the part of the show where we're going to do a Dash news recap. This is all the things that happened in Dash that I found interesting in the past week. And I just want to say before we continue, I hope you guys are enjoying this version. It's going to be better than Christopher's Crypto Chronicles. A lot of people had some complaints about, shakiness of the camera and the audio quality and everything. So hopefully this improves it a lot. I'm really excited about this thing because I know that it's well supported. So I want to give you guys what you want. So we're going to continue and we're going to go on to the what's going on in Dash the past week. Now this first one I'm not really sure about. I'm going to say that I don't really understand it that much because it's a very high level enterprise. But apparently there was a competition in Wyoming. Shout out to Kodaks, I guess he's from Wyoming. And it was the Arizona State University Blockchain Lab, and they were doing some they're doing it's kind of like a network for blockchain credits for filling up your tank with electricity. So I guess there was a certain, innovation for a renewable powered future. So the idea was they have an in-house solution to enable a peer-to-peer energy marketplace using Hyperledger Fabric. So basically the Hyperledger Fabric, and I'm not going to claim to know this because if you know me in the Dash community, I'm kind of a dummy, but to me it sounds impressive. They're going to use, when they're inside the electronic charging ecosystem, they're going to use the Hyperledger threader, what does they call it? Hyperledger something. But yeah, they're going to use the Hyperledger credits to when you're in the ecosystem. But when you're outside the ecosystem, they're thinking of using Dash transactions as a ledger to keep a track of what's going on inside that ecosystem. So they're thinking of using Dash transactions, and when you bring it into that ecosystem, you can prove that you have those Dash transactions from wherever else you've gone to. And if somebody can explain this better than me, I'd appreciate it if they do it in the comments, but I found it interesting. And these guys won an award for this ecosystem and this system that they've come up with. They won an award at the Wyoming blockchain. So kudos to the Arizona Blockchain Research Lab. That's very good. So I'm gonna look at that some more and try to figure out what the heck's going on with it, but it seems impressive. So here's for fans of the Binance Exchange and Dash, they're going to be launching a Dash US Tether perpetual contract with up to 50 times leverage. So if you have an appetite for risk and you don't mind leveraging yourself 50 times to try to make that big payday, well, here's your opportunity. Dash is on Binance. So. And here's the next one. I don't know why Keys for Coins, as always, supported zero confirmation transactions, but the point remains that they have accepted zero confirmation transactions between the time that they started and now. So they've made an upgrade. They're now going to Dash's InstantSend using chain locks and chain InstantSend to make those zero confirmation transactions much more secure. So instead of saying, okay, zero confirmations, I'm going to respend this transaction, they're using Dash chain locks, which actually not chain locks, it's automatic instant send, which validates that transaction right at the point of making it and says that no other transactions with those inputs are going to be able to be respent. So it's a much better layer of protection for Keys for Coins. And I'm very happy that they've decided to buy into Dash's technology. And let me just take a little bit to explain why Dash transactions are 3 times as secure as Bitcoin right now. So they have the automatic instant send. Right when you hit send, the quorum of masternodes is going to guarantee that transaction is the only transaction with that input that's going to be accepted. So there's your first stage of security. Then comes the blockchain, which is going to verify that block, and it's going to put all those onto the ledger. Say, okay, these are the blocks that are going to be found. Then another quorum of masternodes after the block's been discovered also quorums and says this is the only block that's going to be used, and there's no other blocks that are going to be coming up after this. From this chain height, this is the block. There's no other blocks. So you've got the instant send, you've got the blockchain, the normal blockchain Bitcoin confirmation system, and you've got the chain locks after the fact. So this is why Dash's blockchain technology is a step ahead. And this is kind of a personal one that I'm coming up with right now for the Dash community. And I had a video about this a while back, but now I've released a white paper on it. it's important to me to have a slogan and a tagline that I feel represents Dash very well. And I put this on the Dash Pay subreddit. I put this on the BCT thread, and I put it in the Dash forum. So if you see these in your travels in these forums, please leave me your comments. Some people think that it's too long, and it's possible it's too long. But I think it's important that we come up with, as a community, a tagline that represents the why message of Dash. Not just saying, excuse me while I go back to a different viewpoint here. I think that that's very important that we have that why message. Because right now we have what? Dash is digital cash. That's great. That's the what. That's what we have. We have a great product. But it's not, as we've seen from the talk from Simon Sinek, it's not what people really respond to. People don't say, oh, okay, but that's what it is. I have to use that. It's not the part of the brain that responds to those things. And it's the why message that gets through to the people, that part of the brain that says, I have to get a part of this, or I have to get involved with this, or I have to buy this product. So we have to come up with a strategy that represents it well. And I'm looking forward to working with you. If it's not a better money for a better future, I'm going to be honest with you. This tagline has been getting a lot of positive feedback, and it's starting to inspire people. How can they use it in their country? How can they adopt it to their country? And one gentleman started making T-shirts with the slogan. So I'm not saying we have to use it, but it is a pretty strong slogan if you can ignore the fact that it's long. But we don't have to use that. As long as we come up with something that really represents our why, I really think that this is important. And I know that there's a lot of support in the community for that. And I'm sorry to Dash Core Group, but I honestly don't think that your money, your way is a strong enough slogan that we should use as a transformational currency that wants to change the world. So we got to keep that in mind, talk as a community, and move forward and see what we can do with that, and come up with something that we can all get behind, or at least the majority can get behind, because I realize that you can't please everyone. But if we can please like 90% of the people, that's something that I really feel that's beneficial to us. So thanks for watching this first episode of Cash Alternative TV Live. I had fun making it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And we'll look forward to the next episode next week. Ciao.